Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Back at you with a new video. Today is Wednesday, September 24th, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ORIONNWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We have the Colorado Rockies versus the Seattle Mariners. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Wednesday, everyone. And on the left for the Rockies, Brenton Doyle. And on the right, the best catcher in the game, the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. We were able to clinch a playoff spot last night in most heroic fashion for Josh Naylor, a.k.a. Nails. Signed that man immediately to an extension, and it gave you Edgar Martinez vibes, from Griffey scoring from first all the way home. In this case, last night, we had bases loaded, clearing double for Josh Naylor when we were down 3-1 and ended up coming back and winning that matchup 4-3. You couldn't have asked, for a more heart-wrenching moment, but that's kind of what we have to go through as Mariner fans. And hopefully, if we win here today or Astros lose, they play about 20 minutes later after we start, 30 minutes later. So our game will probably end first. But either one of those combinations, then the Seattle Mariners are going to win the AL West for the first time since 2001. I was 19 back then. So this is definitely a very exciting time, 24 years later. And again, hopefully we're going to end up playing well here tonight. So let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Colorado Rockies. Leading off for the Rockies in center field, Mickey Moniak. Batting second, catching today for the Rockies, Hunter Goodman. Batting third, DHing for Colorado, Blaine Krim. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, left fielder Jordan Beck. Batting fifth, playing shortstop, Ezekiel Tovar. Batting sixth, playing third base, Kyle Karros. Batting seventh, playing right field, Yanquiel Fernandez. Batting eighth, playing first base, Warming Bernabel. And batting ninth, playing second base, Orlando Arcia. And on the mound for the Rockies with a 6-7 record, an ERA of 6, Tanner Gordon. And now let's get into the starting lineups for your Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners in left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting second, catching today for Seattle, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting third, playing center field, Julio Rodriguez. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, first baseman, the big grumper, a.k.a. Nails, a.k.a. the future, Josh Naylor. Batting fifth, playing second base, Jorge Polanco. Batting sixth, playing third base, good vibes only, Eugenio Suarez. Batting seventh, DHing today for Seattle, coming up in the clutch, maybe another Dom Bomb, Dominic Canzone. Batting eighth, playing right field, Victor Robles. And batting ninth, playing shortstop, J.P. Crawford. And on the mound for the Mariners with a 10-8 record, an ERA of 3.63, it is La Piedra, Luis Castillo. And just like we go on every single stream, we'll be shooting for 100 likes, 100 on the Dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. We gained quite a bit last night. We ended up hitting over 400 likes, over 10,000 people ended up, stopping in or hanging out, over 10,000 views, gained well over 50, 60 subs. So now we only need to get to 51 subs to get to 22,200. And most importantly, Josh Naylor came up in the clutch. And again, it's hard to hit at T-Mobile. This is the hardest ballpark out of all 30 to be able to get hits. Josh Naylor, since becoming a Mariner, has been batting .350. So I don't really know, what else he needs to do to convince the ownership and the management with Dipoto and company that this guy needs to be on our team long term. But I think even up to yesterday, we already knew what he was. And again, the legend, he is the man, the myth, the legend, and it's growing day by day. We love him. First pitch, inside, 1-0 count. Luis Castillo on the mound, Mickey Moniak in the box. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike inside with the four-seam fastball. We'll see if this ump is a little bit better than yesterday. We say that pretty much every day, but we'll see where it goes. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss by Moniak. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Castillo to Moniak. Let's go, baby. It's our time. Let's win the AL West today. 1-2 pitch. Fouls it back. Behind the plate. Count still remains 1 ball and 2 strikes from Castillo to Moniak. And hopefully Luis will give up 3 runs or less, preferably 0-2. And the bullpen hopefully will step up and we'll find a way to win this game. And, I'm not too sure if it's going to be in the same kind of dramatic fashion. I mean, we're kind of built for it, but we will find out as this game progresses. That pitch is fouled off. Count still remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. And that's my boy, Luis Castillo, starting us off on a good note with a big punch out. Nice job, La Piedra. 1 away. 10-8 record with an ERA of 3.63 coming into the matchup. Next up is catcher Hunter Goodman. First pitch to Goodman, dribbles it down third base, foul, 0-1 count. Tyler in the building, what's good? Cody in the building, what's good? Bricks and Joysticks in the building, TJ in the building. Popped up into center field, Julio Rodriguez is there. And the no-fly zone will stay busy, and that is 2 away. Good defense there by Julio Rodriguez, and we have to be very happy that we have one of the hottest players in baseball in the second half of the season. We absolutely love you, J-Rod. Next up, DHing Blaine Krim. First pitch to Krim is high and away, 1-0 count. Big swing and a miss on a 1-0 pitch inside. Nice sinker there by Castillo. 1 ball and 1 strike from Castillo to Krim. Pitch is outside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Blaine Krim. And I appreciate that. Tyler, TJ, Cody, it's nice to be able to have a space, that we can actually represent the Mariners in the proper way. I'm going to put in all my blood, sweat, and tears. And again, no one else will be covering the Mariners like this on YouTube. And it won't be just a short run. This will be something I do for the rest of my days. Pitch is fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Blaine Krim. Andrea in the building, what's good? Marine Bean in the building, what's good? Daniel in the building, what's good? Clyde in the building, Eli in the building, Shauna's in the building, Northwest Vintage is in the building, Mile High is here. Pitch popped up, and that should be a routine play for the Mariners there. Victor Robles waves everybody off, and that's an easy 1-2-3 inning for Luis Castillo and the defense. That's exactly what we want to see. We don't want to, be down 1, 2, 3 early. But again, you never really know how things are going to play out, game in and game out. And hopefully we'll be able to find a way to win a little bit easier than yesterday. But at the end of the day, a win is a win. All day in the building. What's good? Shanae in the building. What's good? Let's see who's up next here for the Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners in left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting second, catching for Seattle, big dumper Cal Raleigh. Obviously at 58 home runs, we want him to get to at least 60 if possible. Anything above that would be great. Judge hit home run number 50 earlier today. And, I was kind of thinking, and batting third on deck is Julio Rodriguez. But you know how Aaron Judge, right? He's the man, just like Shohei Ohtani. And they know that, he's leading, based on batting average and slugging and all of these categories, right? And then you got Cal Raleigh leading in home runs or RBIs. But again, if we flip the stats, right? And Cal was leading in all of Judge's categories, but Judge was ahead in home runs and RBIs, would people still say Judge for MVP? And the answer is yes. Right? Because obviously the home runs and the RBIs is a big thing. So there's definitely a bias, towards Cal Raleigh. I mean, he is a catcher. You can't expect him to have the same kind of batting average as a guy that's 6'7", that typically plays center field, right field, or DH. But it kind of shows you, regardless of if it's home runs and RBIs only, by Cal, or, slugging and batting average and all the other categories, it doesn't matter as long as Judge's name is attached. And that goes into foul territory by Randy Arozarena, 0-1 count. And I truly do believe that. Again, if Cal was leading all the other categories, but right now Cal, is doing what Judge is doing, and let's say Cal's at 50, right? But he's leading all the other categories, having a higher batting average, batting, like 350. But then Judge is sitting at, 58 home runs and, 110, 120 ribbies. Would it still be the same kind of perspective? I definitely think there is a bias towards Judge, and he is one of the greatest players to ever play in this generation. There's no doubt about that. Him, Babe Ruth, and obviously McGwire and Sosa are the only guys to hit 50 more than 4 times, and McGwire and Sosa cheated. So he's in that Babe Ruth category as that one gets fouled off behind the plate. No balls and 2 strikes, but maybe this will be the year where we have co-MVP, because Judge is deserving and so is Cal, and it kind of feels wrong to leave one of them out, and there would be a lot of people bitching and moaning, and maybe this is the year that you actually give it to both, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Pitch is high and away, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Mando in the building. What's good? Pitch fouled off, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Appreciate that, Clyde. Craig's in the building. What's good? I don't really feel Cal hitting 2 home runs today. Again, it may change when I see the pitches by, the spread on the graph as I'm watching body language and how these pitchers are going to be pitching to Cal, inside, outside, and, if Cal's going to be aggressive early on and try to homer on the first pitch, or if he actually works the count. So, coming into today, I'm hoping that he hits 1, but it depends on how early he hits that first homer. If he's going to get 2, he's going to have to hit his first homer within his first 3 at-bats, preferably probably in the first 2. And we'll see if that happens or not. But there still is a chance that he could have a multi-homer game with these 5 games left. Big swing and a miss. And down goes Randy Arozarena on a 2-2 count, 1 away. But you never know, Again, if I end up, being correct, which would be great. But again, if I'm wrong and he hits 2 home runs, I'm not going to be mad. Again, my ESP will be on most of the time, each game, but we'll see what we get here. Next up is big dumper Cal Raleigh. First pitch, high and away. But a lot of things I look at, with the predictions, I'm looking at speed of the pitches, what type of pitch, location, body language. Is he batting from the right side or the left side? So we'll see where it goes. But you can definitely tell pitchers are being very cautious, going to Cal. So it would be great if he could break Judge's record and get, 5 home runs and get to 63. But I just don't see that happening. But I do see him, possibly getting to 60. And there it is, going long, going deep, and it is gone. There we go. There's the first home run. Well, if he gets a home run at his first at-bat, yeah, he can definitely multi-homer here tonight. It had to be within the first 3 at-bats, and Cal crushed the hell out of that one. I wasn't expecting something right down the middle because the pitchers have been so cautious lately, but there we go. 1-0 Cal Raleigh. Woo-hoo! Let's go. Big dumper getting it started. And we love that. Home run number 59 after Judge got home run number 50 earlier today. Tied for 4th most in AL history with Babe Ruth, 1921. Nice job by Cal. And again, now, obviously homering in his first at bat, he definitely will have a chance to be able to hit a multi-homer game here. And who knows, could this be the game where Cal hits 3 in a game? He's never done it before, but he's been pretty close. And again, I would love for him to get, into that 60 to 63 range. But again, depending on how many games he multi-homers, that'll be the key since we only have 5 games left. Great job, big dumper jumping on that pitch. And again, kind of surprising because a lot of the pitchers lately have been intentionally walking him, pitching him inside or low and away or high and away. So if you're going to test a guy like the big dumper, you better know where you're going. Otherwise, it's going to go out of the park or it's going to go into the double deck where it did. Julio going long, going deep, left field, and gone. Back-to-back home runs by Cal Raleigh and Julio Rodriguez, and we are not fucking around. 2-0 Mariners. Cal, Julio, and I love this team. And again, we are locked in. We're trying to win the AL West right now in the first inning. Beautiful. 2-0 Mariners. Unbelievable. Let's go. And we have seen, the Cal Julio back-to-back homer happen a few times this year. It's not something that is impossible and whatnot. So great to see them that they're locking in early and often. Next up is Josh Naylor, the hero from yesterday that had one of the most probably memorable plays besides obviously Victor Robles diving out of the screen and saving us in Houston. And we know Edgar Martinez ended up having that big play to be able to get Griffey to score, from first as Naylor pops up. 3 Rockies converge, and that is 2 away. But I like what I'm seeing here so far. But if Cal can keep raking and he can get to 60 to 63, then there may not be a co-MVP. Even though Judge is batting average and slugging and all the other categories, are there. I mean, if he ends up getting to 63 home runs, I don't think you can really have co-MVP if Judge is at 50 to 54 and Cal's like 10 home runs above him. But again, we will see how the voters end up going, with the votes and whatnot. But both are deserving. There's no doubt about that because Judge is having a heroic season. And a very memorable season, but guess what? So is Cal Raleigh and our boy J-Rod having a great second half of the season as well, pouncing on that ball just right after Cal did. 2-0 Mariners. Next up is Jorge Polanco. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike to Jorge Polanco, and this is much better of a start than what we had yesterday. Even though an 0-4 record, an ERA of 9. He put up 10 Ks yesterday on us. So, again, this one looks a little bit different here with Tanner Gordon. 6-7 record with an ERA of 6, but we're capitalizing early. And we already got an early home run number 59 by Cal. Judge hit home run 50 earlier today, so Cal has to keep pace. And Julio Rodriguez with a back-to-back homer right after Cal. 2-0 Mariners. I love it. And Polo. And it's gone. Unbelievable. It's a home run party. And we already said that Polo was due. He just decided to wait after Cal and Julio decided to go yard. Jorge Polanco, back. See ya. It is gone. 3-0 Mariners. Someone get the crown because we are AL West champs. Let's go. And again, we're not done here. We're going to keep it rolling. Let's go. Let's go. We are locked in. Let's get it, baby. What an amazing start here. 3 home runs in the first inning after what we had with Naylor, who's batting .350 in Seattle and the hardest ballpark to hit. But as you've noticed, as we brought over Gino, as well as, Josh Naylor, everyone's batting average, was already starting to climb. And again, the confidence is on a whole nother level. We have to be the most dangerous team in the American League, arguably one of the most dangerous in baseball right now. And again, I really like our chances on making a very, very deep run this year. Amazing. Solo dinger by Cal Raleigh, home run number 59. Solo dinger by Julio, going back to back. And then you have to wait one batter as Naylor pops up into the outfield. And then Polo joins the home run party with a dinger as well. 3-0 Mariners in the bottom of the first inning. Someone pinch me. This is amazing. Next up is Eugenio Suarez. Let's go, Gino. It's a home run party. Let's go. And again, there's a good chance that we'll have a multi-homer game from someone. Will Polo have 2? Will Julio have 2? Will Cal have 2? Will Cal have 3? I mean, who knows? At this pace, we don't really know, but it is a fun day here with the Seattle Mariners. 2-1 pitch. And Gino has a slow dribbler in front of the pitcher. Gordon, underhand flip to first. And that is out number 3, but not after. Solo dingers by 3 of our studs. And again, the only way that I thought Cal was going to have a multi-homer game today is if he homered in his 1 of 3 at-bats. He decides not to even waste any time and homers at his first at-bat. 59, Ruth at 60, Maris at 61, Judge at 62. Julio says, well, if Cal's having fun, let me join the home run party. He goes yard. We have to wait for Naylor to pop up and obviously get out. And then one more batter after that, Jorge Polanco says, well, hey, if Cal and Julio can do it, I'm overdue. How about I join the party as well? And hey, everyone's invited to the home run party if you're a Seattle Mariner. Great job by Polo. 3-0 Seattle, end of the first inning. And again, we haven't had too many games where we've had 3 home runs in the first inning, and it feels beautiful. Let's go. Let's see who's up next here for the Rockies in the top of the second inning. Leading off for the Rockies in left field, Jordan Beck. Batting second, shortstop in the 5-hole, Ezekiel Tovar. And batting third baseman in the 6-hole, Kyle Karros. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes. Once we hit that, we'll go for 200. Once we hit 200, we'll try to go for 300. We hit 400 plus yesterday with over 10,000 views. So we'll see where we get here tonight. And again, if we win today, we clinch the AL West for the first time in 2001. So it's been 24 years. Let's see what we can do here today. Let's go, baby. And we'll be trying to shoot for 5 to 15 subs. If we hit that, we'll go 15 to 30. And if we hit that, we'll go from 30 to 50. First pitch in there to Jordan Beck. Takes a strike looking. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Hit deep into center field, but Julio is there. And that is 1 away. Nice job by the no-fly zone in Julio Rodriguez. Trident's up, seize the moment. Next up for the Rockies, shortstop Ezequiel Tovar. Luis Castillo on the mound. Tovar in the box. First pitch from Castillo to Tovar, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, high and away, four-seam fastball getting away from Castillo there, 93 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ezequiel Tovar. Top of the second inning, 3-0 Mariners. Tovar pops it up, should be a routine play. Jorge Polanco is there, and that is 2 away. Yeah, I didn't see the second home run of Judge. I did see his first one. So obviously Judge doing his best job of trying to keep pace, with obviously Cal Raleigh. And obviously we know Schwarber and Ohtani are doing big things in the National League as well. First pitch in there to Karros. Takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Castillo to Karros. One pitch, low and away. Slider missing again, off speed, 82 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike to Kyle Karros. Two-one pitch, line drive. JP is there, and that is out number 3. Great start there. Defense has been on point. The hitting has been immaculate. Home runs by Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez, and Jorge Polanco already. And now let's see who's up next here for Seattle to see if we can add and pour it on. Next up for the Mariners, sitting in the 7-hole, DHing Dominic Canzone. And Canzone obviously got the party started yesterday. Will we see him go with a Dom bomb? We will find out. Batting second, right fielder Victor Robles. Defense has been great. Offense is starting to get a little bit better as the games are starting to progress as we're going into the postseason. He's already hit his first home run of the season, and we'll see if he can get another one before the regular season ends. And batting third, who's starting to heat up, obviously in the box. We already know we can count on him game in and game out defensively at short, J.P. Crawford. Trident's up. Let's go M's. And if you're just tuning in to the broadcast, Cal Raleigh homered in his first at-bat, home run number 59. Julio, back-to-back home runs, and his at-bat, he goes yard as well. And then Naylor popped up in his at-bat. Next batter after that was Jorge Polanco, and he decides to join the party, and that's how we're at 3. So Raleigh was a homer to right to 438 feet. Julio homer to left, 422, and then Polo homer to right, 360. So we'll take any distance, but at the end of the day, we're sitting at a 3-0 lead. Much better of a start than getting our first hit roughly in the 5th or 6th inning with Naylor yesterday. So, and obviously Canzone got us that, homer to get us to the 1-1 tie. Bizzardo ended up giving up that big RBI, coming in and filling in. Obviously after Bryce had a couple guys on, which was not ideal. But when we had bases loaded, Rayleigh got plunked, right? And obviously when you get certain individuals that get plunked and you can move them on, we had 2 of those, runners on the bags that got plunked. And, when you end up having a bases clearing double, you definitely make history. And we clinched a playoff spot. Celebration was yesterday, and we're looking for the AL West crown here today. And we can gain that by a Mariner win or an Astro loss. And we don't need to worry about the Astros. Obviously, Athletics have been playing them pretty tough. We just need to do our job, and we'll be just fine. 0-2 pitch. And big hit in the gap. And Dominic Canzone, that should be a double. And a beautiful hit by Dominic Canzone. And again, it looks like we found our guy at DH. I mean, besides when we have Garver catching and then Cal will be DHing. But, you know, when Cal obviously is catching, this is the perfect individual to have at this moment. In the gap, almost a similar hit that Josh Naylor had last night. Beautiful job. Turns into a double as well. Nice job, Dominic Canzone. Keep the party going. Next up, right fielder Victor Robles. First pitch fouled off. 0-1 count. Come on, Victor. Oh, 1 pitch from Gordon. Check swing, and it goes towards first base foul. Let's go, baby. 3-0 Mariners. Oh, 2 pitch. And Victor fouls it off himself, which has been a common theme for quite a few of our players, as long as they don't get hurt. Count still remains no balls and 2 strikes to Victor Robles. Oh, 2 pitch, and Victor gets hit. There we go. We'll take that. I mean, if we're going to get guys plunked, you know, we had a couple guys last night, and again, it looks like the same situation is happening today. Victor ends up going to first, and now we got runners at first and second with no outs. Next up is shortstop J.P. Crawford. And we were very blessed for Rayleigh and Julio to get hit and obviously not hurt. If anyone ended up seeing Scooball's pitch to that individual that got hit in the face, saw that highlight this morning. He ended up visiting him in the hospital. But anytime you're going to show bunt, you better know where that ball is going, because I don't know if I've seen anyone get square hit in the face like that in a long, long time. Prayers up for him. First pitch is fouled off, high and away, 0-1 count. Bottom of the second inning, 3-0 Seattle. Homers by Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez, and Jorge Polanco in the first inning. 0-1 pitch, softly hit, and popped up into center field, and that is 1 away. Moniak with the catch. Next up for the Mariners, left fielder, 0 for 1 with a K, Randy Arozarena. Let's go, Randy. You know, we know you're a liability in left field, but at least do your job in the box. Help us with some singles, doubles, triples, and home runs. First pitch to Randy, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch from Gordon. Takes a strike looking high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. Well, because we want to be able to see records, being broken. You know, you don't want to see the best players getting walked, every single game, for the last 5 games. That wouldn't be good for baseball if they did that to, Cal Raleigh, Aaron Judge, Kyle Schwarber, and Shohei Ohtani. We want to be able to see guys get to 50 and 60 home runs, especially in an era where we're not cheating anymore. It's exciting. Pitches high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arosarena. I mean, there's still going to be times where, certain teams will intentionally walk one of those big four home run threats, but, it's not going to be every, single opportunity. 2-2 pitch. And just got a piece of that as it goes behind the plate to the T-Mobile bricks. Yeah, David Fry. Crazy. Prayers up for him. And big swing and a miss. Down goes Randy. And that is 2 away. All right, next up is Big Dumper. We've already seen him homer once. Will he do it again? Let's go, Cal. Sitting at 59 home runs. First pitch. Big swing and a miss right down the middle from Tanner Gordon. 6-7 record with an ERA of 6, but that doesn't really mean anything. Yesterday, we went against a starter that was 0-4 with an ERA of almost 10, and he had 10 Ks last night. So maybe a little bit of a hangover, for playing so well on the road against Houston and sweeping them. And Cal pulls it into right field. Go, baby, go. And that's going to bring home Dominic Canzone. Here we go. And Robles comes home as well after the bobble. And now it's 5-0 Mariners. Cal Raleigh with a solo dinger and ends up having a 2-run RBI double. Man, things are going so well here early on for the Seattle Mariners. Great job by the Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh. I mean, whether we're getting doubles like right there or a home run in his first at bat, life is good. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. You've already homered once. Will you do it again? 5-0 Seattle. Kind of feels similar to the game against Houston, except we kind of hit a wall after scoring those 7 runs early and didn't really have a whole lot after that, or even getting 6. So hopefully we can hit a double-digit number at some point or another. Slow dribbler to first. And it goes right to the first baseman. And unfortunately, that is out number 3. Cal is stranded, but not after a big 2-run RBI double by the Big Dumper. 5 runs, 5 hits, no errors, no runs, no hits, no errors for the Rockies. And again, we need one game to win the AL West. And they celebrated and they partied. If you watched Root Sports late last night, I mean, they had the tarps up, they had the Miller Lights, they had the champagne, they had the cigars. They were partying, but they tried not to make it too long. Want guys to be hungover going into today's game. And obviously the partying lasted for a few hours, and they did get enough sleep. And they're very sharp here today. Obviously, end of the second inning, 5-0 Mariners. And if you need a quick recap, if you're just tuning in, Cal Raleigh homered to right for home run number 59, 438 feet, 1-0 Mariners. Julio comes up next. He says, I'm going to join the home run party. He homers to left, 422 feet, 2-0 Mariners. Then Naylor pops up and pops out. One more batter comes up. Jorge Polanco in the first. He homers to right, 360 feet, 3-0 Mariners. And as we go to the bottom of the second inning, Raleigh doubles to right with Robles and Canzone on board. They both score, 5-0 Mariners. You couldn't ask for a better start here for Seattle. Now let's see who's up next here for the Colorado Rockies. Let's go, baby. We're still looking for the first. We got 428 in the building, so we should be able to hit all of our goals. 5 to 15 subs should go to 15 to 30, 30 to 50. We should be able to hit the $100 dono goal, and obviously on the likes, we should be in the 200 to 400 range by the time this stream is over. Leading off for the Rockies in the 7-hole, right fielder Yanquiel Fernandez. Batting second, first baseman in the 8-hole, Warming Bernabel. And batting third, second baseman, former Atlanta Brave in the 9-hole, Orlando Arcia. On the mound for the Mariners with a 10-8 record and ERA of 3.63, it is La Piedra Luis Castillo. And based on what the ownership and what they were mentioning, it sounds like they'll probably have Emerson Hancock pitch tomorrow. Someone that was already on the staff rather than bringing someone up from AAA. So maybe not getting Logan Evans tomorrow, which would be, ideal. I think that he could win the game for us, but we'll see what Emerson Hancock does if that ends up being the starter for tomorrow. And we just want Brian Wu to be healthy, as we go on our playoff push. 0-2 pitch, high and away. Four-seam fastball, missing the strike zone by a few feet. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Fernandez. Big swing and a miss, and down goes Fernandez. Beautiful pitch there by Luis Castillo. And again, hopefully he gives up 0 to 2 runs, and that way we can keep pace with these 5 home runs that we potentially might hit. We already have 3 so far. Let's go. Down goes Yanquiel Fernandez. 1 away. Next up is Warming Bernabel. First pitch to Bernabel. Fouls it off towards that third base line. 0-1 count. One pitch, low and away with the slider, off speed, 84 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike from Castillo to Bernabel. And the last time the Mariners won, the AL West, I was 19, and that was in 2001. So obviously being in 2025, it's 24 years later. But again, it feels very, very sweet because, for 40 years, we had 95, 97, and 2001, and then a 20-year drought. But we have made the playoffs, 2 times out of the last 4 years. So, and it feels like we might start being able to go to the playoffs year in and year out, maybe after this year. So, you got to have the right players, and you have to be able to sign the right guys. And hopefully Josh Naylor will be on the team for a very long time. 2-2 pitch. High and inside at the hips. Count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Warming Bernabel. 3-2 pitch. Popped up. And that should be a routine play there. Naylor is there. And there it is. And that is 2 away. Down goes Bernabel. Next up, the former Atlanta Brave, second baseman Orlando Arcia. First pitch in there, takes a strike looking with that sinker. 95 miles an hour there by Castillo. Nice speed and nice location here early on for La Piedra. Little slow dribbler. And throw to first, and that is out number 3. Because I live in Oregon, and there's no rule to say that people in Oregon can't be Mariner fans. Plus, when you end up meeting Ken Griffey Jr., when you're 7 years old, a lot of people in Seattle have never met him. So again, I ended up having a special memory early on, meeting him and his dad, getting the autograph at a young age. And when you end up meeting greatness at an early age, I would think that would make you a fan, regardless who you are. Let's go to the bottom of the 3rd inning and see who's up next here for the Seattle Mariners. And you have to understand, Mariner fans are not only in Seattle. There's a bunch of them in Oregon. You'll probably have a lot in California, some in Idaho, some in Montana, some in Alaska. And again, if you don't have a professional baseball team in your state, then the surrounding states are going to be fans of that particular team that's close by. I don't think it's hard to realize or understand. Let's see who's up next here for the Mariners in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1, first baseman Josh Naylor. Batting second, 1 for 1 with a run, RBI, a solo dinger. You know who he is. It's Jorge Polanco. And batting third, 0 for 1, third baseman, good vibes only, Eugenio Suarez. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 200 to 300 likes, 100 on the dono train. And we'll be looking for 5 to 15 subs. And once we hit that, we'll go for 15 to 30. Trident's up. Seize the moment. Go M's. I don't know. I mean, obviously, there's been talk, of trying to bring another professional team, to Oregon and whatnot. Obviously, there was rumors of, possibly the A's, but I didn't think that was going to happen. And we already know where that trajectory is going with their new stadium that's being built. But, it would be interesting to get like a baseball team or a hockey team. There's no chance of getting a professional NFL team in Oregon and whatnot. But a lot of it has to do with, space. And obviously accommodations with like hotels and everything else and whatnot. But, you never know. 0-1 pitch. That one's fouled off towards that first base line. No balls and 2 strikes to Josh Naylor. Yeah, not everyone is going to be a Mariner fan that lives only in Washington. There's going to be a lot of people all over the world. Little slow dribbler there by Naylor. Throw to first. And that is 1 away. Especially also, too, looking at Oregon not having any NFL team, you literally can walk down the road and go to your local mall or downtown, and you can see jerseys of pretty much almost every team in a state that doesn't have their own team. There's Bills fans here. There's Eagles fans. There's definitely Seahawk fans, Niner fans, Charger fans, Raider fans. You name it, there's going to be fans. So not everyone is blessed to be able to have, 3 or 4 professional teams in their hometown state. First pitch to Polo, fouled off. High and inside, 0-1 count. Little slow dribbler up the middle. And there we go. Nice job by Polo there. Gordon getting roughed up here early. 6-7 record with an ERA of 6, which is climbing at the minute. And nice job by Polo. No throw to first there. Reached on an infield single to second. Next up is good vibes only, Eugenio Suarez. Oh, 1 pitch. Pitch is inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Eugenio Suarez. I used to love going to the Portland Beaver games at Civic Stadium downtown, when they were the Minnesota Twins affiliate, when they were winning World Series with Kirby Puckett. I had a lot of fun memories seeing the Portland Beavers AAA team in the late 80s and the early 90s. And then they turned into like the Portland Rockies and then went back to the Portland Beavers. And before they ended up kind of ending, the relationship with the teams, they ended up having the AAA All-Star game in Oregon, and I did go to that and got to see some pretty good talent. But I definitely miss those times, being 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and when we didn't have the money to go to Seattle to see the Mariners, to be able to go down and see the AAA affiliate Portland Beavers, and it was always a good time. 1-2 pitch. Low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Eugenio Suarez. From Brazil. Went to school in Longview. Nice. Heck yeah. Bottom of the third, 5-0 Mariners with a runner at first and 1 out. Gordon on the mound, Gino in the box. 2-2 pitch from Gordon. Fouled off the T-Mobile bricks behind the plate. Count still remains 2 balls and 2 strikes to Eugenio Suarez. Let's go, Gino. 2-2 pitch. And Gino crushes it towards third base, foul. Count still remains 2 balls and 2 strikes to Eugenio Suarez. Let's go, baby. 5-0 Mariners. Two pitch. And Gino crushes it in the left field, but fading foul. Two pitch. Pitch is low and at the knees. Good eye by Gino. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Gordon to Gino. Yeah, I've drove by, some of the other locations like in Salem, but I've never been to a game other than the Portland Beavers. I know they got the Hillsboro Hops and whatnot, but I don't really have any interest, going there. If I'm being honest, if I'm going to go to a game, I would rather, go to a AAA affiliate or, go to like the Mariners. I mean, especially with all the other things that I follow. So, I got, the baseball and the football and the college football and then, wrestling. And then, when we get into NBA and NHL and NASCAR. So, I got a full slate. First pitch to can zone. Fouls that one off. 0-1 count. Yeah, Portland Pickles, Hillsboro Hops. But I do have friends that go, pretty often. 0-1 pitch. And nice ground ball there into left field. Go, baby, go. And safe. Great job by Dominic Canzone. He's really getting locked in. And again, that's exactly what you want from your DH, someone to be productive. Great job by Dominic Canzone. Double the left. Polo ends up going into third. Now we have runners at second and third with 2 outs. Let's see if Victor Robles can do some magic here for the Seattle Mariners. And they're challenging the play. And based off the replay, it looks like he's out. But we will see what they decide to call here. I mean, the ump is staring at it the whole time. And it's kind of a bang-bang play, but when they did the zoom in, it looked like possibly that the tag came right before the front part of the shoe hit second base. But it'll be interesting to see what they call here. Steven says, go Mariners from Nebraska. It's kind of close, based off the impact of the shoe going into the bag. But, one replay far away, it kind of looks like he's safe. And then the ump was staring down. But when they did that big zoom in angle, it looks like the tag ends up coming in a millisecond before the foot hits the impact of the bag, and you see the bag move. But again, they did call it safe on the field, so I'm not sure if there's enough information or evidence, there to overturn the original call, but we will find out here momentarily. All right, he is out. Okay, and I think that is the correct call. I mean, obviously, I want the calls to go for the Mariners, but I want things to be right down the middle. You don't want any bad karma, when you end up getting ripped off on a play that that the guy is safe and they call him out. So, rough break there, and we weren't able to bring home, obviously, Dom and Polo there, but we're up 5-0. And again, we're overly aggressive right now. We're trying to pour it on, so to speak, and we'll see what happens, obviously, next inning if we can make up for that. Now let's go to the top of the 4th inning after that positive review there by Colorado and see who's up next here for the Rockies. Next up for the Rockies, 0 for 1 with a K, center fielder Mickey Moniak. Batting second, 0 for 1, catcher Hunter Goodman. He is their best player on the team. And batting third, DHing in the 3-hole, 0 for 1, Blaine Krim. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Where are we at on the likes right now? We got 518 in the room. We should be at somewhere between 100 and 150 by now. And obviously with this many people in the room, we should be able to hit, somewhere in that 200 to 400 range. And we're still looking for our first dono on our dono train. Let's take a look to see how many subs that we have gained since the stream started. Looks like we've gained 7 so far. 44 to go to get to 22,200. And it doesn't have to be just all day. It could be a lot of the regulars. If you guys can participate as well and help out, it'll help the other people that are watching to hit that like button. It takes 1 second to do it, and it'll help out with the metrics and the algorithm. Blue says we're at 151. All right, 50 more, 49 more to get to 200. And we had over 400 yesterday with over 10,000 views. So we'll see where we're at here today. And obviously, if we win today, we clinch the AL West for the first time since 2001, Ichiro's rookie year. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss there by Mickey Moniak. No balls and 2 strikes from Castillo to Moniak. Top of the 4th, 5-0 Mariners. Oh-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. And down goes Mickey, and that is 1 away. Nice job by Castillo. And again, we've seen Castillo be on, and we've also seen him be incredibly off. And nice to be able to see, with this 5-0 lead, no pressure, just do your job. And another punch out by Castillo. Nice job. Next up, catcher Hunter Goodman. Let him know all day. And again, it doesn't have to be just him. It could be all of the regulars as well. Yeah, tough series for you guys, obviously having to, play the Blue Jays and whatnot. So, but we will see. Anything can happen in the playoffs, between the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Guardians and the Astros. And obviously the Astros are kind of hitting a wall, as Goodman grounds out to third, throw to first, and that is 2 away. But, again, it definitely feels like the Blue Jays and the Mariners are kind of the hotter, teams out of the teams that are in contention. And then obviously you got the Phillies and the Brewers. Even though the Dodgers haven't been really great since the second half of the season, you can never really count them out. Padres are getting injured and hitting a wall. And I don't know if anyone really believes in the Mets or the Reds if they get in. Obviously the Cubs are kind of the underdog. No one's really talking about them, but they've had a good year this year. So, we'll see how it plays out. But obviously, Blue Jays, Mariners have to be the favorites right now. Obviously, Tigers with that big collapse. And obviously, Phillies, Brewers, and Dodgers, and Cubs, those teams you would have to assume, are probably the front-runner teams. Padres below those teams. And then between the Mets or the Reds or whoever gets that last spot, then they're even below, obviously, San Diego. So I know Laureano just had a finger issue and he'll be out. So again, when you end up getting a guy that's been instrumental for their success and then you lose them at this point of the year, it definitely is going to hurt the Padres' chances of upsetting and going deeper than maybe they did a few years ago. But anything's possible in baseball. 2-2 pitch, popped up. Julio is back at the wall and gone. Wow, I wasn't expecting that. And Blaine Krim with a big solo dinger. And now the score is 5-1 Seattle. Way to bring the electricity for the Rocky fans that are in attendance. 412 feet by Blaine Krim. And Mariner fans have a slight hush there at T-Mobile, and hopefully that'll be the only home run that Castillo gives up. Yeah, I think Yankees are definitely in the mix. I would say if I had to choose a third team, I would go, Blue Jays, Mariners, Yankees. And then obviously, you have the Red Sox, the Guardians, who have been extremely hot trying to take the Tigers spot. And then obviously the Astros. But again, out of those teams, somebody's going to get left out. So, it's if it ends up being Yankees, Red Sox, Guardians, and then the Tigers, get left out, or what happens with the Astros, things have not been too kind to the Tigers and Astros as of late. So, let them know, TJ. 0-2 pitch from Castillo to Beck. And that is strike 3 looking. There we go. Nice job by Luis Castillo. I mean, you did give up the big home run, but again, you just want to be able to limit the damage. And this is professional baseball. Guys are going to give up home runs. But again, 5-1 isn't as nice as 5-0. But again, we'll see what we can do here, and maybe we'll be able to extend the lead. Let's go to the bottom of the 4th inning, 5-1 Seattle. Next up for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 4th inning, 0-for-0 with a run, right fielder Victor Robles. Batting second, 0-for-1, shortstop in the 9-hole, J.P. Crawford. And batting third, 0-for-2 with 2 Ks, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Trident's up, let's go M's. Seize the moment. Go, baby. Great first inning. 3 solo dingers by Cal, Julio, and Jorge Polanco. And I'm definitely excited to see if we're going to have a multi-homer game by any of those 3, or if another Mariner will get in on the mix to join the home run party, which could be very, very possible. I mean, you got Randy, right? You got Naylor, you got Gino, right? You got Dom, you got Robles, and you got Crawford. So there's quite a few guys that, could end up pulling a home run to join the home run party with Julio, Cal, and Polo. Little slow dribbler, throw to first, wild throw, and safe. There we go. And that's why you run hard to first no matter what. Nice job by Victor Robles, and an error there at first with the drop. Nice job by Victor Robles. You just never know. If you don't run hard, you're not going to be able to get on base. Even if it looks like, 99% chance you're out, you just don't know if the throw is going to be wild or if the catch is going to be dropped. And that's a great, example of hustling, even when you feel like you might be out. You just never know. Next up is J.P. Crawford. All right, 192, 8 more to get to 200. Once we get to 200, we'll shoot for 300. And we hit 400 plus yesterday with over 10,000 views. So not sure where we're going to get view-wise today, but it could be similar numbers. 0-1 pitch, low and away to J.P. Crawford. They already have Santazala there in the bullpen warming up. I'm not sure if they're going to bring him in. We'll see. Throw to first. And Robles is safe as the crowd boos. And it is 0-0 Astros and Athletics in the middle of the 3rd. And Victor is on the ground now. Hopefully he's okay. Hopefully he didn't tweak his hamstring or growing. You know, anytime you end up having to twitch your body quickly and having to get back to first base, you know, sometimes you'll end up kind of tweaking something. And hopefully he's okay. I mean, as we're watching the replay, I'm not really seeing anything significant, but once he gets up, he goes down to 2 knees on first base, which is not ideal. We're going to need Robles. Hopefully he's okay. All right, he dusts himself off. He's a tough guy. Astros and Athletics still knotted up at 0. And if Houston loses, you know, we're in. But again, we want to win this game on our own so we don't have to worry about anybody else. You know, kind of like in that 2022 season, we had to kind of wait for others and hope for others to fail. But it's always good when you can control your own destiny and just win. 1-2 pitch, and that's hit into right field, right in front of the right fielder. And Robles scampers to third, safe. And now we have runners on the corners at first and third with no outs. I like it. And we might have a pitching change here sooner than later. Nice job by JP. Nice job by Victor Robles. And next up, left fielder Randy Arozarena. I mean, this would be a good time for a 3-run bomb. I mean, if anyone was overdue for a homer or something positive in the box, it's him. You know, we know he's a liability in left field, doesn't hustle. You know, when ground balls go to his area, he jogs. And when he throws it into the infield, it's a lob, not a laser. And, you know, make up for it here. Randy going back to the wall. Ooh, and just caught. Victor tags up, and he jogged from third to home, and that will bring in a sac fly run from third. Victor Robles, 6-1 Mariners. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Seize the moment. Trident's up. And I think that is going to be the last pitch from Gordon that we're going to see. And again, it's kind of funny because he's 6-7. His ERA is 6. And how many runs did he give up? 6. And so I guess that was the magic number for him to exit. So we're going to end up getting another pitcher here momentarily. And again, life is good if you are a Seattle Mariner fan. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 400 likes, 100 on the Dono train. And we'll be looking for 25 to 50 subs. Let's go. All right, we're halfway to our goal. We're at 202. Let's see if we can get to 300. Once we do that, we'll go to 4. And we're still looking for our first Dono on the Dono train. Every dollar counts. Antonio Santazella is coming in. First pitch inside to Cal, 1-0 count. Vincentella on the mound. Big dumper in the box. Jams Cal. That one pops up, fading foul. 1 ball and 1 strike to big dumper Cal Raleigh. And Cal has been very productive here so far. 2 for 2 with a run, a home run with 3 RBIs, solo dinger, and a 2-run double. 1-1 pitch, fouled off behind the plate, back to the Toyota sign. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Sensantella to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Halfway through the matchup, 5:30 in the room. Who will be the first? Once we get 1, it'll turn into 2 and then 3. 1-2 pitch. Cal hits it into center field, but it's in the infield, not towards center field, and that is 2 away. Little blooper there. Didn't really get the whole sweet spot on it. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. See if J-Rod can take advantage of that early home run to see if he can have a multi-home run day. Trident's up. Let's go, Julio. Bottom of the 4th, 6-1 Mariners. Runner at first with 2 outs. Sensantella on the mound. And J-Rod in the box. Takes a strike looking on the first pitch. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Almost same location. Takes another strike looking with a sinker this time around. No balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Joseph's going to get the party started. Appreciate that. And all it takes is 1 person, to show some love and some generosity, and then it'll start. Thank you so much. Joseph is laying it down. Appreciate you. Stacks. Racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. We're at 20, 80 to go to hit the goal, and everything is going to go towards, just living and taking care of my pup, as well as the maintenance here on the channel. Appreciate you very, very much. We're at 20, 80 to go. Shout out to Joseph. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Helps with the internet bill, the streaming fee, and just being able to take care of my pup, who means everything to me, just like you guys. 2-2 pitch. Did he go around? No, he did not. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Three-two pitch. Julio crushes that one into right field, foul. Count still remains 3 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. And during the commercial break, Joseph, if you have a favorite player that you want to be able to showcase, let me know, and I'll see if I can find a great HD 4K photo for you. C coming in. Appreciate you with a tenner. Go Mariners. Thank you so much. All it takes is 1 person to start the generosity, and it will go around. Julio fouls that one off. Count still remains full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Stacks. Rex with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And just like that, we're at 0. And then 2 minutes later, we're at 30. Thank you so much. Appreciate you and your generosity. C in the building. Joseph in the building. We're at 30. 70 to go to hit the goal. Pitches outside. And a long look at the ump, as well as looking at the catcher and the pitcher. And that is ball 4. Great job there by Julio. There we go. Sean 12 and Joseph getting the party started. Next up is Josh Naylor. First pitch to Naylor is inside, 1-0 count. And again, what Josh did and what he's done since he's become a Seattle Mariner, it's the biggest pickup that we've ever had in the Seattle Mariner history at the deadline. And again, doing what Edgar Martinez did, getting that big double, down that third base line, and scoring Ken Griffey Jr. from first, making memories. Now we have another big moment like that, hitting it in between the gap with bases loaded and scoring all three, a bases clearing double. The only thing that would have been better would have been a grand salami. But again, Naylor batting 350 and another hit right up the middle, baby. And JP's coming home, and there we go. And just like that, Josh Naylor showing you how good he can be. And again, they say that people can't hit at T-Mobile, but it looks like we found a guy that finally can. Never, ever let him go. I mean, this guy needs to be a Seattle Mariner for life. I don't care if he ends up being old and he ends up having a rocker and he's got a cane. He's got to be on this team for a long period of time. Monkey with a 20. Appreciate you. Now we're starting to get some participation out of the 543 in the room. Stacks, Racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Another 20 on the Dono train. And another RBI by Josh Naylor. We love it. Bash in the building. He's going to get in on the action as well. Stacks, Rex with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Thank you so much. Another tenor on the Dono train. Next up is Jorge Polanco. Thank you guys so much. 0-1 pitch fouled off. Right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes to Jorge Polanco. And there's not going to be very many people out there on YouTube that are going to be as dedicated and as passionate as we are here. And again, it's not easy, doing almost every single game. And my goal coming in was to do 155 out of 162. And we were able to do that. And really only missing about a game a month, due to WWE PLE. But since they have merged with ESPN, that will no longer be the case. I will not pay $30 a month just to watch wrestling. Unfortunately, I love WWE, but I'm not doing that. I'll find other ways to watch. But, doing almost every game is tough, but it definitely is worthwhile. And it's all about having that consistency. And I have been a fan for about 40 plus years. So again, we have people that are new to the team. And this is a great time to be a fan if you're new to the Mariners within the 5 years or less. But there's a lot of us that have been fans 10, 20, 30, 40 plus years. And again, the last time that the Mariners were in this position, I was 19. I'm 43 now. So it's been a long 24 years, but we're ready for the postseason after 2022. And Naylor with another stolen bag. He swipes bags better than anyone that I've seen at his size ever. Unbelievable. But obviously not having to worry about the WWE stuff. It'll probably be every game as long as I'm not sick or have an issue. So 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. And down goes Polo, but not after. We end up extending our lead, 7-1 Mariners. Beautiful. But, we don't do just Mariners. Obviously when it's Mariner season, we focus on the Mariners, but we'll still do NFL, Monday night, Thursday night, Sunday night when it's appropriate. We'll still end up doing some college football. And then once the football and baseball season end, we'll transition and do some NBA and some NHL, little Blazers, little Kraken, and some good matchups, during the season. And then obviously when we're in that time window where we're still waiting for baseball to start, and it's like that February, March period, we'll do a little bit of NASCAR, maybe Cup Series, trucks, or Xfinity. So there isn't really anything that we don't do here, but we definitely keep busy when it's Seattle Mariner season. Let's go to the top of the 5th inning with a beautiful 7-1 Mariner lead. And let's see who's up next for the Colorado Rockies. And shout out to all of the individuals that got the party started. And again, all it takes is one person to show love. And that turns into person number 2. And Sean 12, person number 3 in Monkey. And person 4 in Bash. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. And you guys started the party and those won't be the last. Next up for the Rockies, 0 for 1, shortstop Ezekiel Tovar. Batting second, 0 for 1, third baseman Kyle Karros. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K, right fielder Yanquiel Fernandez. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Yeah, and I imagine that's going to be a very popular thing, especially once they sign him. And they're probably going to wait until they sign him before they start making an explosion amount of jerseys. And again, with guys like Cal and Julio, those are going to be like first choices for a lot of people. But for people that already have the Cal, like myself in the City Connect, or the Julio home jersey that I have on right now, obviously Naylor would be a guy that if we signed him for the rest of his career, obviously a good chunk, obviously I would definitely consider, grabbing a guy like Naylor. Again, a fantastic player, offense, defense, swiping bags. I mean, what can he not do? And again, he's like the first Mariner hitter that has come from somewhere else that has defeated the odds, saying that you can't hit in Seattle. It's not a hitter's ballpark. And he's hitting 350 at games at home, and that probably went up based off today's stats. So he's batting above 350 based off his games at home, which is pretty incredible. I've never seen anything like it. And again, we need to make sure we're appreciating greatness, because again, if we didn't have Josh Naylor, we wouldn't be in this position that we are here today. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Castillo to Tovar. Appreciate you, Cody. Appreciate you, Blue. Takes a lot of commitment, but again, it's like, when you love a team as much as I do, and a lot of you guys feel the same way, whether it be 5 years or less, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years plus, there's fair weather fans, there's bandwagon fans, there's fans that only watch when the team is doing good, and then there's hardcore fanatics. And obviously we're Northwest Sports Fanatics for a reason, and Castillo with a punch out, big swing and a miss by Tovar, and that is 1 away. And when you're a fanatic, you do fanatic type of behavior, where you're watching a lot of the games, you're committed to the team, you're buying the gear, and you always have hope, even when you have no hope of making the playoffs for 20 plus years, but you're still watching the games and rooting them on. And again, I feel like the Seattle Mariner fan base is incredibly intelligent, incredibly passionate, and it doesn't mean that those fans are only from Oregon and Washington. If you're a Seattle fan, no matter where you're from or where you're at now, we're built a little different. You have to be mentally tough to be a fan of any team in Oregon and Washington. And it's not always going to be good, but there's going to be peaks and valleys, highs and lows. But let me tell you, when the teams end up getting good, we are championship good. Whether it be the Seahawks or the Sounders or the Mariners or the Ducks or the Huskies, whatever, teams we're talking about, once we get to a point, where we're good, we're really good. And again, it's just about capitalizing on the championship games when we have an opportunity to get there. Sometimes we will, and sometimes we won't. But again, no one can ever deny the fact that we have passion for our teams. And, we hear everything's bigger in Texas and how big high school and college ball is over there. And, the fandom in the Northeast and in the South. But again, Seattle Mariner fans are definitely built different. And if anyone deserves this, it's us. 2-2 pitch, and got him. Down goes Karros, and that is 2 away. Down goes Tovar. Down goes Karros. Nice job by Luis Castillo. And anytime you end up watching a son, of a player that we watched, Eric Karros, or any of these individuals that have sons that are coming into the league, you definitely are starting to feel a little bit older. When I ended up watching a lot of these guys that I watched when I was a kid, and now their sons are in the big leagues, and it's a crazy time to see things like that. 1-0 pitch popped up by Fernandez, and that one goes into foul territory. 1 ball and 1 strike from Castillo to Fernandez. Storm as well. Obviously there's other teams that I didn't mention, and again, there's, teams that we don't really know how things are going to play out, like the Blazers and the Kraken. We have hopes that the Blazers might be able to get the 8 seed. We're being realistic. Dame is back, but he's injured. But, we picked up Yang, who could end up being maybe the sleeper in the draft. The Kraken got Mason Marchment. So we're picking people, from teams that had some success, where it's the Dallas Stars or the Florida Panthers and whatnot. But it's all about getting the right guys to come together. Maybe a breakout year for Shane Wright on the Kraken. Maybe Matty Beniers. Goaltending needs to be better, but, Seahawks are overachieving. Huskies are getting disrespected. How the hell are they not in the top 25? Big swing and a miss and a punch out there. But what it tells me is that the AP voters, they don't watch football. These guys are not watching, late games on the West Coast, because if you watch the Huskies this year, they got one of the longest winning streaks at home. They got the Buckeyes coming in, which will be a tough game, but the Huskies have a chance. And again, if you look at the scoring, they're like the second highest team in scoring, but they're not in the top 25. They got a quarterback that's going to go to the NFL. They got a running back that's going to go to the NFL, Damon Williams and Jonah Coleman. They got a son that is a former wide receiver in the NFL in David Boston and Denzel Boston. They got a good offensive line. They got a good defense. It's just sickening, when I see this bias when they have all these teams supposedly they think that are better than the Huskies. And again, we'll see how long it takes, for certain voters. But, it's like, tell me that you're not watching college football without telling me you're not watching college football. And when you look at the AP and the College Bowl, it's a joke. You can definitely tell that certain people aren't watching and they're just being biased based on their affiliation to their conferences, whether it be the SEC, the Big 12, or choosing other teams in the Big 10. But, Huskies will be able to make a mark, and hopefully they'll be able to get the respect that they deserve. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 5th inning. 7-1 Mariners. Josh in the building. What's good? But I feel like Pacific Northwest fans, we don't really get respect anyways. Regardless if it's a fan in Oregon or a fan in Washington, depending on the teams that we root for. It's like we're always small market. We're always kind of like little brother. But again, at some point when we get great, there's no stopping us. Just like with the Legion of Boom, there was no stopping them. And again, the Seattle Mariner team is very special in 2025. Next up is Eugenio Suarez. On deck, Dominic Manzone. Batting third, Victor Robles. Oh, nice. Hard to get home run balls, let me tell you. Usually I just sit between, first and third, about 15, 20 rows back to try to get foul balls, which are just as hard to get. First pitch, takes a strike looking, low and away. 0-1 count to Gino. 0-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Eugenio Suarez. Antonio Sensantella on the mound, and Gino in the box. Pitches outside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Eugenio Suarez. 2-1 pitch. And Gino fouls it behind the progressive sign behind the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Eugenio Suarez. Two pit. And that one's popped behind the plate again towards that progressive sign. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Eugenio Suarez. Pat's been pretty good with predictions. With all things considered, he's usually the guy that is the one guy that picks the underdog most of the time when everyone does the obvious. But he's been pretty good with his picks this year. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and down goes Gino, and that is 1 away. But again, if you follow like Gus Johnson or Joel Klatt, those are my favorite guys in college football. I think they're the best announced team in sports. Obviously, Nance and Romo are pretty good on CBS, and obviously we have other options for NFL games on Fox. And whether you're watching Thursday night football or Monday night or Sunday night, but Obviously Joel and a lot of us know that, a lot of these teams are getting disrespected. And, my sleeper team going into the year was the Huskies. And it's just crazy how they're still not getting respect. And again, we'll see what happens as the year progresses, but they're going to have a chance at home against the Buckeyes. It's going to be hard, no doubt about that, just like Oregon going to Penn State. Obviously, it's not going to be easy. Both teams could lose, but you never know. Both teams could win. Pops up, and that is 2 away. And Dominic Canzone doesn't get a chance to get another single or double there, but that's all right. We're up 7-1 at this point in the bottom of the 5th. Next up is Victor Robles. Flying Monk with a 5er. Appreciate you. Stacks. Rex with the little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. Another $5 holla on the Dono train. Appreciate you. Big swing and a miss by Victor Robles, 0-1 count. Yeah, but I watch, even though I'm an Oregon fan, I live in Oregon and half the teams I rep are in Oregon, the other half are in Seattle. I always will watch, Husky games, and not necessarily just to spy, but I just enjoy watching good football. And they've been definitely building something special there, for quite a few years. And, again, I like seeing, Oregon and Washington teams do good. Now, obviously, when we play each other, we want our favorite team to win, but outside of playing each other, I want to see the Huskies play well. I want to see the Cougs do something good. I want to see the Beavers not go 0-11, obviously when we're playing them, we want to destroy them, but it's like if they're playing other teams, I want to see, some of the teams in the Pacific Northwest, even if they're our rival, have some success. I don't want, everyone to just suck ass, but, obviously for the Beavers, they lost their coach, all their recruits, and so they're obviously in a worse position than the Cougars, but obviously the Cougs are not on the same level as the Huskies. As we saw in the Apple Cup, they got destroyed, and we'll see where those two teams go. Still in the quote-unquote Pac-2, Pac-12 that got destroyed because the commissioners in the Pac-12 were greedy, and then we had to move Oregon, Washington, USC, and UCLA to the Big Ten, and now the Big Ten has like 50 fucking teams, and it's ridiculous, but, it is what it is. They had to add those teams so they could be, recognized as number one in college football over the SEC, even though the SEC, still has a few good teams, over there that represent pretty well. Pitches low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Victor Robles. Big swing and a miss, and down goes Robles. And that is out number 3. Chris in the building, what's good? Flying Monk with another tenner. Appreciate you. Stacks. Rax with another Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. Trident's up. And another 10 on the Dono train. And even though, we had Scott Service for a very long period of time, we kind of knew what he was about. Sometimes keeping guys in too long or pulling guys too early or having the wrong lineup or not taking, an outside the box approach. But he did get us to the playoffs in 2022. And obviously we've seen Dan Wilson, have his struggles. first-time manager, never done it before. Former catcher back in the Griffey era. Dan Wilson with Randy Johnson, we remember very, very well. And again, with Edgar Martinez and Seitzer and the assistants, they've done a very good job kind of helping him along. And again, getting the right guys at the right time. Randy at the deadline last year. Naylor and Gino, 2 of the top 4 this year. And again, that 54% talk has disappeared. And again, we don't really hear that anymore. And again, it's nice to be able to see us finally kind of turn the corner. And again, this team definitely has a chance for a pennant in 2025. Let's go to the top of the 6 and see who's up next here for Luis Castillo, who's given up a solo dinger, and that's it. So he's been absolutely electric so far. In the box, first baseman Warming Bernabel. Big swing and a miss on a 1-0 count. 1 ball and 1 strike to Warming Bernabel. And Bernabel pops up to Victor Robles, and that is 1 away. Dan is the man. I do like Dan more than Scott Service, so. But you definitely see some kind of similarities, based on how he manages. He's very safe about things. But again, if I had to choose one or the other, I definitely would rather have Dan. So, and I did enjoy Dan as a player at catcher, and so it's kind of ironic to go from a catcher that is a manager and then to see what Cal is doing, with this team since coming in from 2022. So, I mean, if you have catchers that are a part of your organization, usually good things are going to come your way. They understand the game on a different type of level than, maybe a person that played first or outfield or potentially a pitcher. Next up is Orlando Arcia, the former Brave. Fouls that one off. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Castillo to Arcia. And obviously we love Lou Piniella. That's the best that we've ever had. And he goes around, and that is strike 3. Number 8 for Luis Castillo, and we've seen him, do this before, and we've also seen him have some meltdowns. So again, for a guy that, at times is great, other times almost unwatchable, 10-8 record with a 3.63 ERA, and we're going to need him and Bryce Miller to be very, very good down the stretch. As we have a line drive, Naylor is there, flip, and to Castillo, and thankfully Luis is athletic, and that is out number 3. Because obviously if we're not going to have Lou, and obviously in the Dodgers set, we're going to have him in the postseason. We want that pec to be healed up. So I would assume, tomorrow will be Emerson Hancock, because based on the celebration that they had, I was watching a lot of it on Root Sports, and they were saying that they are most likely going to have someone pitch tomorrow if they haven't listed it on ESPN or MLB. I haven't checked, but they were kind of hinting that it would be someone on the roster. So that would mean it would be Emerson Hancock since he's in the bullpen. So I would rather have Logan Evans called up and have him pitch at home. But even though he's been in AAA, I think I trust him a little bit more at home than Emerson Hancock. But if we keep hitting like this, even if Emerson gives up 3 or 4 runs and we put up 5 to 10, we should still be able to get the sweep. But again, we will find out. Let's see who's up next here in the bottom of the 6th for the Seattle Mariners. Happy birthday, Libra. 73 years young, and we have fans, from 10 to 18, and obviously all the way up to 70, 80, 90 years old that are regulars on the channel all over the globe as well. So happy birthday. Next up for the Mariners, 1 for 2 in the 9-hole, shortstop J.P. Crawford. Batting second, 0 for 2 with an RBI and 2 Ks, left fielder Randy Arozarena. And batting third, 2 for 3 with a run with 3 ribbies. He had a solo dinger in the first. Will he get another home run to get home run number 60? I sure as hell hope so. Big dumper, Cal Raleigh. AR in the building. What's good? Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 200 to 300 likes, 100 on the Dono train. And we'll be looking for 25 to 50 subs. We had 10,000 plus views, almost 11,000 yesterday, and had over 400 likes. So we're definitely going in the right direction. And as the Mariners continue to have success, the numbers are going to grow, on the channel, based on the likes, the subs, the views, the donos, and the number of people that are in the room. And obviously, the deeper we go, the crazier it's going to get. Pitch in there for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. One-two pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. I mean, if J.P. or if Cal Raleigh gets to 62 or 63 home runs, that might be the thing that then the Yankee fans, they'll still not admit it. But then at that point, if they break Judge's record and he gets to 63, can you not, give him the MVP at that point? But there'll still be some Judge fans that still think it's him and whatnot. But, maybe we'll have a co-MVP, award this year. Shohei obviously is going to get it over Schwarber, even though Schwarber's having an excellent year, but not as good as Shohei. And obviously it's much closer between Judge and obviously Cal Raleigh. But hopefully Cal will get to at least 60 home runs. But, I mean, if he can get to 62 and then somehow, some way, by a miracle, get to 63 and beat Judge by a homer as a catcher, then I don't think there's anything that you can say at that point. Even if Judge ends up rifling off a few more home runs and he gets to, 56. But if Cal's at 63, he's a catcher. So, but we will see how it all plays out. Big swing and a miss by Arosarena from Sensantella. No balls and 2 strikes here in the bottom of the 6th, 7-1 Mariners. 0-2 pitch, fouled off. Flying Monk with another tenor. Stacks. Racks with another Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Say ground beef and trot tips. Get it. Stock up. Appreciate you. Another tenor on the Dono train. Thank you so much for your generosity. 15 more. We hit our Dono goal. It's never too late. 0-2 pitch. High and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Zensantella to Randy Arosarena. Come on, Randy. Do something. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely tell that some people in the Midwest and the East Coast don't stay up late to watch West Coast teams, and it shows, And again, like I was mentioning at the early part of the broadcast, what happens if Cal has Judge's stats, but Judge has more home runs and more ribbies? And they still would feel the same. It's not like they would flip their vote to Cal. Even if Cal was batting, 350 and he was slugging better and he had all the stats, and then if Judge ends up having more home runs and more ribbies and he has Cal's 2 categories compared to Judge's 5 or 6, the Judge fans are still going to say we're better because we have the home runs and the ribbies. So there's no really convincing certain Judge and Yankee fans, regardless if he has his stats or Cal's stats, they're still going to think that Judge is better. And then Randy hits one where normally he would be playing defense, and that will be a stand-up double for Randy Arosarena. Nice job by Randy there. I mean, look at the numbers. I mean, we got Babe Ruth, we got Cal Raleigh, Babe Ruth, Roger Maris, and Aaron Judge. And obviously you had McGuire and Sosa that, were guys that hit home runs of 50 or more 4 seasons. And obviously that was, Babe Ruth, Mark McGuire, Sammy Sosa, and now Aaron Judge today. But obviously McGuire and Sosa cheated. So Aaron Judge is like the modern day Babe Ruth, which is Shohei Ohtani because he pitches and he hits. But another guy that's kind of in that same realm, and again, it's kind of special that we have, two players that would be elite even back then in the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s. Shohei and Judge could play in any era and be on that same kind of level as like a Roger Maris, Mickey Mantle, Babe Ruth type of player. But, for Cal to be in that mix as a catcher is insane. And Cal pops up on the 0-1 pitch, and that is 2 away. He'll have at least one more at-bat before the day is over. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. Nice. That would be a great video to have. Randy coming home. And he's out at home. Great throw there. This is a good question because, I do it based on, you have certain people, on TV like Goldie, they are going to call it a Rosarina. But if you actually listen to the players and how he pronounces it, based off the pronunciation, they have it kind of spelled phonetically out as like AH-ROW-ISH-RAY-RAY-NAH. So Rosarina. That, but again, you can go a Rosarena, a Rosarena, a Rosarena. There's going to be like 3 different ways, depending on who's calling it, and usually I'll try to go not necessarily what Goldie says. I'm going to go based on what the player is addressed by, like his teammates, and how he typically says it. But again, I've heard, 3 different pronunciations of it. And again, regardless on how you say it, I think we all understand who we're talking about. But again, on the broadcast with Goldie, he usually says like a Rosarina. And I don't think that necessarily is the way that Randy would be pronouncing it. I think it's maybe phonetically a little bit easier for them to say that on TV. But based on when I've heard him say it, like Randy himself, and more of like the phonetical terms, Rosarena is, I guess, correct. But there's going to be 3 different ways. And at the end of the day, we know who it is. Let's go to the top of the 7th inning, 7-1 Seattle. Yeah, but anytime I look at pronunciation, I always, go on to like a Google search, and then I'll type in, first name, last name, pronunciation. And then I'll go to the team website. And if they have like a video or like an audio clip of the player saying their name, I'll click on that. And then it'll be like a 5-second, how they pronounce it. And obviously there'll be different pronunciations on TV and media. And then if they don't have it there, then usually if you go to like, some like Google AI, they'll have like a little breakdown, and then they'll break it down like phonetically or with, hyphens and whatnot, based on how you would be, saying it, based on that route. So that's how I typically go for players that I'm not too sure, and I do that every pregame. I always go through every single team, every single player. And so that way, like right now for Mickey Moniak, I have it MOH-NEE-AK, even though obviously his name is spelled MONIAK, but I do it, in my photo, so that way if I see it, it'll be easier for me to remember rather than just looking at the last name and hoping that I remember how to, say it and whatnot. So, and again, nobody's going to be perfect. There are going to be some, technicalities and whatnot, but I don't think there really is a right or wrong way, especially with a name like that. So Castillo on the mound, Goodman in the box. 2-1 pitch. In there for a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Hunter Goodman. Yeah, but I like it usually when it comes from the team itself, because then they have the audio of the player saying it, and then you have, that's correct, right? Because they're saying it from their own voice. But then if it doesn't come up with an audio version through the team website, then I usually try to go through it like a, Google search or AI, and then it'll break it down for me. As Victor Robles catches that one in right field. And again, there are some names in baseball that are kind of tough. And, I always make sure that, when I set up the streams, I'm always going to have it like that. And obviously certain ones are going to be easier and, easy to say, like, Jordan Beck. I don't need anything for those, but especially when you get some of the foreign-born players and whatnot, I usually try to have a little bit of help there, so that way I'm not mispronouncing the whole game. So first pitch from Castillo to Krem. Takes a strike looking high and inside. 0-1 count. Had a home run in the fourth. Solo dinger, 234 average, 5 homers, and 12 ribbies in 2025. O2 pitch. Fouled off. Hell yeah. That's awesome, bro. And again, anytime you can end up getting a ball, whether it be from Randy in the outfield, or JP Crawford after the inning ends as he throws it toward the Mariner crowd behind the dugout, getting a ball in between innings is still getting a ball. It's not easy getting a ball, period, whether it be a home run ball, a foul ball, or a ball between innings. Congratulations, man. And again, it's one of those things, once you actually get a ball for the first time, it changes you, And luckily, I was kind of prepped because I got 2 of them for the Portland Beavers when I was 10. I sprained my ankle twice, getting them, trying to chase foul balls down with like 20 other kids. But I was resilient. I'm a honey badger, and honey badgers don't quit, right? And obviously, that gave me the skill set to be able to get 3 Mariner baseballs within the last few years. So. And I've only been to like 10 games, and I've gotten 3 baseballs. So, and I'm not going to be, taking them from kids or, doing crazy stuff like we see other individuals do at ball games. You don't want to be like the Phillies Karen or, some of these other individuals that steal balls from adults or from kids. But I've been extremely lucky with my memorabilia. And got him. Nice pitch by Castillo. Blaine Krem, see you later. 9 Ks for Castillo. Down goes Blaine Krem. No home run there. Next up is Jordan Beck. And 1 more K will give Castillo 10. Who would have thought? Great job, Louise. Yeah, and again, when you have someone that's 7, I'm telling you, anything that you do from 5 years old to 12 years old is going to be sacred for any kid. The cartoons that you watch, the memorabilia you get, the memories you make, the toys that you have, those are going to be things that you're going to hold on to forever. And again, if you look back in your own life and you go back to those memories when you were 5 to 12, everything is cool, and again, you actually go back into your childhood, especially if you end up losing some of those toys or, certain things. And then sometimes people try to recollect those things to recapture those memories. And I know I'm not the only one. And again, anything that you can do at that age is going to be something that he'll remember forever, especially when you're around that first grade time. That was the same time that I met King Griffey Jr. when I was in first grade when I was 7. And it's almost like it was yesterday for me. And I'm 43. So I'm really, really happy that you were able to make some memories with your son. Awesome. Pitch fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Castillo to Beck. 2-2 pitch. Fouls that one behind the plate. And 1 more K here will give Castillo 10. Let's go. Astros down 4-0. Beautiful. Go A's. Toronto lost. Red Sox won. Man, Red Sox are under the pressure cooker. Just like the Guardians are trying to take the Tiger spot. There's a lot of drama this year in the American League. Not to say that there's not drama in the National League, but really like, is it the Mets going to get the last spot? Is it the Reds? Most of the pieces are already there. Like, Phillies, right? Brewers, Cubs, Dodgers, Padres, like they're pretty much set for the most part besides that last wild card spot, Mets, Reds, or whoever. But in the American League, there's a lot of jockeying for position, which is very exciting. Pitch is fouled off, high and inside. 3-2 pitch, popped up, and behind the plate. Count still full. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Jordan Beck. Big swing and a miss. Got him. Vintage La Piedra, even though he may not be on the team next year. Nice job by Luis Castillo. You know, we more than likely won't have Castillo at some point in the near future. Garver may not be on the team in the near future, as well as Gino. We got to make sure we pay Naylor. But as of today, Luis Castillo looking like vintage Luis Castillo. La Piedra, 7 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 earned run. That home run by Krim. No walks. When's the last time that he had 10 Ks with no walks? I can't remember. 92 pitches, 65 strikes, 3.54 ERA, and he saves one of his best games of the year for the end of the year. Awesome job by Luis Castillo. 7-1 Mariners. And again, we're doing it on all levels. Starting pitching, bullpen, hitting, defense. We are the most dangerous team in the American League, and you could argue we might be the most dangerous team in baseball right now. Let's go. Wow, really? I mean, again, I couldn't even imagine being on the field. That would be insane. All right, let's see who's up next here in the bottom of the 7th. Next up, the hero from last night, bases clearing double. You know, just like Edgar Martinez was, you know, his big hit down that third base line, scoring King Griffey Jr. from first. But to get a bases clearing double is even more impressive than that. Josh Naylor, the big grumper, nails. And I don't think we've ever seen a player play as great as Josh Naylor has, you know, at the deadline. And again, it's not just his offense, his defense, stealing bags, his overall personality, and being one of the only players that we've ever been able to sign, you know, whether it be in the offseason or at the deadline, that has actually figured out how to hit here at T-Mobile, the hardest hitting park to hit at. He's batting 350 plus at his home games. And again, there is no scenario that he is not on the team long term. And again, if we can sign Naylor long term, you know, we should be a contender for many years to come. And we may be able to go back to back to back to the playoffs if we end up signing Naylor. He's that impactful to this team. Absolutely love him. And again, he's becoming a bigger and bigger fan favorite. You know, when you had people that, you know, maybe liked Randy, or maybe liked Polo, or maybe liked Gino, or Dom, or Victor, or JP, we still got love for those guys. But the way that Josh Naylor has been playing, he's getting up there in that Cal Julio category. And again, that's pretty rare to be able to be at the top with guys like Cal and Julio, but he definitely deserves the love and the recognition. He's right there with them. And we have a pitching change here for the Rockies. 1-1 pitch to Naylor. Big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Josh Naylor. Chivili on the mound for the Rockies. Yeah, but I mean, you know, yeah, some talking heads might be haters because he doesn't hit 40, 50 home runs, but he doesn't need to. You know, him hitting 20 to 30 home runs for everything else that he does is completely fine. With stealing bags and playing great defense, it's like we don't need someone to hit 50 home runs at first base. You know, if he can do all the things that he does and hit 20 to 35 home runs, that's completely fine. 2-2 pitch. And plus, if he ends up playing on this team, you know, he can go from, you know, hitting 20 to 25 home runs and maybe taking the next step and going from, you know, that to, you know, 28 to 35 home runs, especially if you're going to be hitting close to Julio and Cal and Polo and the rest of the guys on this team. 3-2 pitch. Naylor crushes it into left field. And nice leaping catch out there in left field. And that is 1 away. Next up is Jorge Polanco. Let's go, Polo. got on in the home run party early. First pitch, big swing and a miss from Chivili. 0-1 count. Let's get to 300, and with the amount of people we have, we should be able to get to 400. We got to 400 plus yesterday, over 10,000 views, so with just a little bit of support from the regulars in the chat, we should be able to hit that number. Bottom of the seventh, 7-1 Mariners. Chivili on the mound, Polo in the box. 1-1 pitch to Polo. Low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Jorge Polanco. Pitch is high and away. Count now is 3 balls and 1 strike to Jorge Polanco. Three-one pitch. Slow dribbler. Should be a routine play, but nothing's routine nowadays with the Rockies. Throw to first. And that is 2 away. Next up for the Mariners, third baseman Eugenio Suarez. Good vibes only, baby. Let's go. Pride ends up, seize the moment. Appreciate that, Kyle. I mean, somebody's got to represent the Mariners to the fullest. First pitch to Gino, takes a strike, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch from Chivili, and Gino crushes it into right field. Will it go? Gone! There we go. Gino joins the home run party, and there we go, baby. Nice job by Eugenio Suarez. 8-1 Mariners. Beautiful. Way to bring the electricity, Gino. Good vibes only, and he crushes it. Great job. Athletics 4, Astros 0. Everything is going our way. 358 feet from Gino, 8-1 Mariners. Tridents up, seize the moment. And apparently we are. Go M's. Nice job. Home run number 48 by Gino. And 2 more, he'll be at 50. I mean, if we can get Cal to 60 to 62 and Gino to 50 before the season's up, how amazing would that be? Cal Raleigh, Schwarber, Ohtani, Judge, and Gino. First pitch to Dominic Canzone, who's been great as a DH as of late. Big swing and a miss, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss, high and away. No balls and 2 strikes to Dominic Canzone. 0-2 pitch. Slow dribbler towards first base, foul. Count still remains, no balls and 2 strikes to Dominic Canzone. Let's go, Dom. 0-2 pitch from Chivili. And a little blooper in the gap, and it falls. God, Dom has been great. Unbelievable. His timing has been perfect. He's been able to pull the baseball. Again, the first game that we put him at DH, he went 5 for 5 with 3 home runs. And again, having Polo at DH, it worked sometimes it didn't. But I think we found, the perfect lineup for righties. And when we have kind of a strong lefty lineup, it's the best lineup that you could possibly ask for. Great catch there with Gino's home run. Next up is Victor Robles. Let's see if we can get Victor to continue the rally with 2 outs. On deck is J.P. Crawford. I mean, the only gripe that I have is that I would like Leo Rivas to be playing every day, at second base. But obviously then that would mean you would have to be playing Dom or Polo at DH and whatnot. But, because obviously we have liabilities with Gino and with Polo and Randy for defense. But if we keep scoring runs like this, it may not matter. It's like even if you have three guys that sometimes make plays on defense, sometimes don't, if you're going to score 5 to 10 runs, which we have, as of late, sometimes you can have a couple bugaboos and a couple errors and a couple mistakes and still be able to bounce back from them. End of the 7th inning, 8-1 Mariners, and we are getting very close. We're 2 innings away from winning the AL West from the first time since 2001, Ichiro's rookie year, and that was when I was 19. So I have been waiting for this moment for many, many years, and the celebration was great yesterday. I watched all of it on Root Sports, and again, it feels like the passing of the torch from the Astros to the Mariners obviously happened when we swept them in Houston. And again, we have to put our head down and we have to be able to stay focused. And I assume that we're going to have Emerson Hancock on the mound tomorrow filling in, because that's what they were saying. They were going to have someone already on the roster. And the only person that has starting experience that's on the roster, that's in the pen right now, is Emerson. And hopefully he'll be able to get the job done. I would prefer, sending down, like, let's say Cole Young or Leo Rivas for one game and then bringing Logan Evans up because he's good at home. But if they want to go with Hancock, fine. And then we're going to have our, George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller against the Dodgers. And I like our chances with those 3 pitchers. Reflect with the tour. Appreciate you. Stacks. Rex with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. $2 holla on the Dono train. Appreciate you. We're getting close to some of our goals here. $10Ks, but the most impressive thing with Castillo, no walks. And a little flip there. And he's still out there in the 8th inning. Nice job, Castillo. Let's go. No way. He got Josh Naylor cleats? You got to be kidding me. Wow, Naylor. Again, he's a big, sneakerhead. He's got a lot of Jordan, shoes and a lot of Jordan cleats, custom. And the crowd giving Luis Castillo a standing ovation. And again, there's been games where Castillo's looked terrible this year, but this is one of the best, absolute best starts. And honestly, this might be the last time that you see Luis Castillo. Obviously, if we go to the playoffs, we're going to be at home. But as far as regular season, this might be the last time that you see Luis Castillo in the regular season at home. He may not be on the team next year. So great standing ovation, great awareness by the crowd, understanding that, certain guys like Gino, Castillo, and Garver may not be on the team next year or the year after. And beautiful. Great opportunity, great fan base. And again, let's see who we're going to be bringing in. No walks and 10Ks. One hitter, and you gave up that solo home run to Krim, and that was it. Beautiful. Cal Raleigh, homer to right. Julio, homer to left. Polo, homer to right. Cal Raleigh doubles to right, scores Robles and Kenzone. Krim got that one homer in the top of the 4th on Castillo, but that was it. Randy sack fly. Robles scored. Naylor single to center. Crawford scored. Rodriguez went to 3rd, and then Gino ended up homering to right just a few moments ago, and now we're sitting at an 8-1 lead. And Caleb Ferguson is coming in. All right, Caleb Ferguson coming in, and the first batter that he will be facing, Eric Karros' son, Kyle Karros. First pitch high and away with the slurve ball, 1-0 count. Karros in the box, Caleb Ferguson on the mound. And if you remember Eric Karros from the Dodgers back in the day, that is his son. That's when you know you're getting old. If you're 40 and up and you've been watching baseball, since the 70s, 80s, or 90s, a lot of those guys that we looked up to now, their sons are, in the game or getting very close to being in the big leagues, if they're not there already. Pitch is high and away. 2 balls and no strikes to Karros. Little slow dribbler. Gino, throw to first. And a long throw to Naylor. And that defense is just immaculate. And that is 2 away. Yeah, Louise used to be our 1. And then kind of trickle down to the 2, and then the 3, and then the 4, and then kind of the 5 with Bryce Miller. But again, we're still going to need, a player like that, especially with the Woo and the tight pack. But if you look at that, pitching staff that we have with Woo, Kirby, Gilbert, Castillo, and Miller, it's pretty damn sexy. Obviously, if anyone gets banged up and we have to throw in Emerson Hancock or Logan Evans, it's not ideal, but we could still win games with those guys. .1-0 pitch inside there for a strike to Fernandez. Top of the 8th with nobody on and 2 outs. 8-1 Mariner lead. Caleb Ferguson on the mound. And Yanquiel Fernandez in the box. 0 for 2 with 2 Ks. Pitch is high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Ferguson to Fernandez. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Seize the moment. And we definitely are. Crushes that one. Fading foul. Count now remains 2 balls and 2 strikes to Yanquiel Fernandez. 240 average, 4 homers and 11 ribbies in 2025 in limited action. Yeah, Cade will be our 5 after Castillo is gone, 100%. And then hopefully at one point, Durangelo will be in the mix, and that'll probably challenge Bryce's spot at some point. And again, at one point or another, it'll be Woo, Gilbert, Kirby, Durangelo, and Cade. And when that happens, that probably will be one of the most exciting times in baseball for us, especially if Durangelo and Cade are locked in. And a little line drive there to Gino for out number 3. Let's go to the bottom of the 8th inning and see who's up next here for the Mariners. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 400 to 500 likes, 100 on the dono train, and we'll be looking to gain 50 subs or more. Let's get it. Let's see where we're at on the sub count since I last checked. And we've gained another 20 or so. 27 to go to get to 22,200. We've already gained 40, 50 subs already today. Now 27 to go to get to 22,200. We're at 22,173. Let's go. And then where are we sitting at the likes? How close are we to 400? We are at 308. 92 to go. We got 547 in the room. So we probably won't be able to get to 500, but if we can get to 400, that would be huge. We got to 400 yesterday, 400 plus, and we had over 10,000 views. So, and we're only 13 away from the dono goal, and I know we'll be able to hit that. Shout out to Joseph, starting off the dono train. Sean 12, Monkey Kung Fu, Bash, Flying Monk, Flying Monk, Flying Monk, Reflect, and we just need 1 or 2 more individuals, and we'll be there. Next up for the Mariners, 1 for 3 with a run and a K, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, 1 for 3 with an RBI and 2 Ks, left fielder Randy Arozarena. And batting third, 2 for 4 with a run and 3 RBIs. His last opportunity to get to home run number 60 this game, big dumper Cal Raleigh. Cal getting to 60 home runs would just be icing on the cake. First pitch is outside from Chivili. 1-0 pitch, ground ball. Tovar, throw to first, and that is 1 away. Down goes JP. Next up is Randy Arozarena. And this might be the first game that I haven't been bitching and moaning about Randy's defense in left field. Luckily, we haven't really had any balls go his way, ground balls specifically, and that is a good sign. Because usually when that happens, it turns into a double that should have been a single or a triple that should have been a double. So let's see if Randy can do something here in the box late. First pitch to Randy, fouls it off towards third base, 0-1 count. Pitch is low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. Pitch is inside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. Chivili on the mound, Arozarena in the box. Takes a strike looking in the zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and a nice punch out there by Chivili. And obviously not a whole lot to celebrate if you're a Rocky fan at this moment, but a nice punch out there. And now everyone stands up in the building at T-Mobile in Seattle to see if Chivili will give up home run number 60 to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh, who already has 1 home run today, has some RBIs as well. Let's get home run number 60 right here. Let's go, big dumper. MVP. Cal, it's going long. It's going deep. It's gone. Cal does it. Home run number 60, a multi-homer game. Aaron Judge, who? MVP, Cal Raleigh. He does it. Woo! Let's go, Cal. 60 home runs as a catcher. Trident's up. He might actually break Judge's 62. With how many games left? 4 games left. He could do it. Bang. There we go. Unbelievable. MVP chants are going wild. Can you imagine being there? Unbelievable. Let's go. Captain with a 13er to hit our goal. And that dono right there got us the Cal Raleigh multi-homer game, 60 on the season. Joining Babe Ruth, Roger Maris, and Aaron Judge as the only players to hit 60. Unbelievable. Stacks, and racks with some Cal Raleigh love. Bang, bang. Wow. Unbelievable. And the MVP chants are going wild, and Judge multi-homer today. And Cal said, you know what? I'm going to do it too. Wow. 60 home runs for Cal with 4 games to go. And Judge has the record at 62. Roger Maris 61. And again, we're talking about players that are doing it clean, not McGuire, not Sosa, not Bonds. And there's a very good possibility that Judge gets to 63, and breaks the record. And there is a good possibility that he might multi-homer one more time in the last 4 games. It probably won't be tomorrow, but it could be during the Dodger series one time. So, amazing. Thank you, Chivili. And Julio with a line drive throw to first. And again, when you want the cherry on top, you get it. And again, 9-1 Mariners, unbelievable year. And again, the last time the Mariners were this good, obviously was 2001. I was 19. I put a lot of time and effort and passion, into this channel. I've been doing this for 13 years, 9 years on YouTube. Next year will be 14 years. 10 on YouTube, and this is the first year where I really feel that we're starting to break out. And again, the further the Mariners go and the better that Cal Raleigh plays, the more success that we're going to get, here on the channel. And again, if we somehow, some way make it to the World Series and win it, I can only imagine the numbers this channel is going to do, not only this year, but moving forward. And it feels good to be a Seattle Mariner fan and to be able to see history happen. I was lucky enough to be at one of the games where Cal had a multi-homer game on the 4th of July against the Pirates. And let me tell you, when you see Cal Raleigh hit a home run, it sounds different. Just like it does when you hear Aaron Judge in person, which I've seen, or Shohei Ohtani. It just sounds different on the crack of the bat. And to be able to see a guy hit 2 home runs in a same game at T-Mobile, pretty magical. And Cal making some history here tonight. And again, he's not done. He's got, 4 games, 1 against the Rockies tomorrow, 3 against the Dodgers, right, to get 3 home runs, which is definitely doable because he might get 2 in 1 more game. And then best case scenario, I would say that Cal gets to 65. That would be best case scenario. Him maybe multi-homering twice and then getting a solo dinger, 1 game, and then 1 game not getting any home runs. But that would be like the hottest ending to a season that we've ever seen, for him to get, 2 more multi-homer games and then a solo. But again, I think at this point, we're happy for him to be at 60, but I'm really hoping, since he got to 60 tonight, that he gets to 63. So that way there's no denying the fact of the MVP, is deserving to Cal. Now, if they decide to do a multi, co-award, with Judge and obviously Cal, you can go that route. But again, if Cal breaks Judge's record, you would have to assume even the Judge fans would have to bow down, and they would have to say, you know what? Even if Judge gets to 55 home runs, if he breaks Judge's record and gets to 63, I think at that point, Judge fans and Yankee fans would be pissed, but they would finally acknowledge that maybe that Cal is deserving this year. And again, Judge can get it every year, just like Shohei. It's cool to be able to see Schwarber and Cal get a little bit of love, even though Schwarber won't get the award, Ohtani will. But wow, amazing. Bernabel, first pitch from Luke Jackson, popped up to the shortstop. JP is there, 1 away. Let's go, Luke. Next up is Orlando Arcia, the former Brave. First pitch is low and away, 1-0 count. Great job, big dumper, man. And again, it's just special year. Again, last time the Mariners were this good, I was 19. I'm 43 now, and a lot of us have been fans of 30, 40, 50 years, and it just feels good, to be at this point. And again, we're not done. Seize the moment. Trident's up. 2-0 pitch, high and inside, almost hits Orlando Arcia. 3 balls and no strikes from Jackson to Arcia. And if you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We got 600 plus in the room. We should be able to get to 400 before the stream ends. And we should be able to hopefully get to 22,200. We only need 27 subs. And shout out to Captain on getting us to our dono goal. See if we get a few more after the game ends. Pitch is low and inside. That should have been ball 4, but for whatever reason, that ends up being called a strike. And then now the next pitch ends up being a ball, and now Arcia to first. Man, Cal Raleigh, you're the man. And I remember, when Cal hit the walk-off against the Athletics, I went straight to eBay and bought a rookie auto because I had a feeling that Cal was going to be special. And again, fast forward to a couple years later, since 2022, Cal is the best catcher in baseball, and it doesn't look like anyone's going to take that crown off his head for the foreseeable future. 1-0 pitch in there for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Mickey Moniak. 1-1 pitch. Pitch is inside. 2 balls and 1 strike from Luke Jackson to Mickey Moniak. Let's go, Luke. Finish strong. 2-1 pitch. Little slow dribbler. Goes foul. Come on, Luke. Luke Jackson on the mound. The former Angel, Mickey Moniak, in the box. Crowd is getting hyped. Obviously, we know the Astros are cooked, and they lose. We end up winning the AL West, but we don't even need them to lose. We're going to do it on our own. 2-2 pitch. Slow dribbler towards first, foul. Armando with a $2 holla. Appreciate you. Stacks. Rax with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. Another $2 on the Dono train. Appreciate you, Armando. Trident's up. Seize the moment. 2-2 pitch. Crushes it into left field. Oh, no, it's Randy. Let me just jog to the ball. I thought we were going to find a game where I didn't have to complain about his lack of hustle in left field, but lo and behold, in the top of the 9th inning, you get a ball in Randy's area, and the slow poke does it again. Now we have runners at second and third with 1 out. Come on, Luke. Let's not have a meltdown by you and Randy here late. Well, we want to keep this score 9-1. We know we're going to win, but let's finish strong. And we just have to pray that when we play the Blue Jays or the Yankees or whoever in the playoffs, not too many baseballs go to Randy's area because it is a nightmare when I see him chase ground balls at a slow pace. And then not only that, his throw into the infield is always a lob. It's never a laser. Like, who taught him this technique? Terrible. 0-1 pitch from Jackson to Goodman, their best player on the team, in there for a strike. Runners at second and third with 1 out. And an 0-2 count. And you got to be careful because if there was anybody that could hit a 3-run jack right now to make it 9-4, it's him. He's got 30 homers on the year. He's the only really good player they got. 0-2 pitch. Popped up, fading, foul. And again, you're going to make sure you're working the strike zone here. First 2 pitches have been in the zone, and he's just been just behind them. Top of the 9th, 9-1 Mariners. Runners at second and third with 1 out. Goodman in the box, Luke Jackson on the mound. And obviously when you finish with Ferguson and Luke Jackson, it's not ideal, but we're resting our guys. Pitch gets away from him, but runners are stranded at second and third. And Harry Ford is in there catching. I was about to say, that's not Cal. And Harry Ford getting a little bit of time to catch, which is good to see. You know, he needs to get comfortable because at some point Garver will not be on the team and he will be the number 2 that will be catching for us in the foreseeable future. Harry Ford is in the box. Pitch is low, and Luke Jackson is not doing him any favors. He's throwing it into the dirt, making Harry really work here. Like, Harry's probably thinking to himself, could I get anybody but Luke Jackson or Caleb Ferguson throwing to me right here? I mean, it'd be nice to get someone that was actually good. 2 balls, 2 strikes, runners at second and third with 1 out. Luke Jackson on the mound. Harry Ford catching for Cal Raleigh after hitting home run number 60. 2-2 pitch. Slow dribbler towards third, foul. But I like the idea of getting Harry some experience. Since they've called him up, he's barely got a chance to play. So, I mean, he had that sac fly for our game winner, but we're still, waiting for him to kind of get the rhythm. Come on, Jackson, finish strong. We know you and Caleb are just kind of average to below average. Play up to the competition here. 2-2 pitch, slow dribbler, throw to first, and that is 2 away, but a run scores. All right, we're 1 out away, 9-2 Seattle. And this is going to be the first time that we've won the division. When we made the playoffs in 2022, we were a wild card team. And no one thought we would be able to even win a series, but ask the Toronto Blue Jays how that one went. We beat them, right? But this is a different team. This is more of 2001 vibes. Yeah, we didn't get to 116 wins, but guess what? We're not going to collapse like that team did in Ichiro's rookie year. We got ALDS, ALCS, and World Series aspirations. And when you're looking at this team, top to bottom, we're deeper than that 2001 team based off starting pitching, bullpen, and overall hitters and farm. 0-1 pitch to Krim. Chop towards first base, foul. We're one strike away from winning the AL West from the first time in 24 years. I was 19. I'm 43 now. This feels good. Let's go. Krim in the box. Luke Jackson on the mound. Let's go. Trident's up. Seize the moment. 0-2 pitch. Low and into the dirt. And I feel like Luke Jackson pitches like Logan Gilbert lately. It's like his whole body is into it, and a lot of the pitches are in front of the catcher into the dirt. Like, relax, okay? I know the nerves are high here. Like, let's get it into Harry's mitt, not in front of Harry. 1-2 pitch from Jackson to Krim. Got him! And that's ball game! Mariners win, baby! There we go, our first AL West championship. Let's go. I mean, winning the AL West is not easy. We know how good the Astros have been, right? They have been so good, so consistent, even with the scandal, right? And then even when the Rangers won the World Series, they were a wild card team. They didn't win the AL West. This one feels really, really good. Nice job by Luke and Harry. They're late. Shout out to Cal Raleigh, for getting to home run number 60 in a multi-homer game. Man, what a special day. What a special day. Final score, Seattle Mariners 9, Colorado Rockies 2. And when the Mariners win, what do? We fucking dance. Mariners win, Mariners win, Mariners win. Fuck yeah. AL West champs. We did it. We have the title. First time since 2001 in Ichiro's rookie year. Man, this feels good. And again, this is only the beginning. All right, this is only the beginning. And we know right now, the Tigers are collapsing. The Astros are collapsing. The Blue Jays and the Mariners are probably the two teams that are the most favored besides the Yankees, right? We play good against all of these teams. Yankees, sometimes we struggle. But again, we have a good record against the Blue Jays. And we're playing as good of baseball as anybody in the American League. And again, we know the Phillies and the Brewers and the Dodgers and the Cubs are going to be dangerous, as well as the Padres, even though they are hitting injuries at the worst time. I don't think anybody really believes in the Mets or the Reds if they get in, but you have to include them. But seize the moment, and we get the whole team to dance together, which is going to take a little bit of practice here, but most of them did a pretty good job, including the bullpen as well. That was a great sight to see. 9 runs, 14 hits, no errors, to 2 runs, 2 hits, and 1 error. This feels good. And the crazy thing is, this won't be the last time that we win the AL West. Maybe this is the beginning of our run of winning the AL West like the Astros did, for many, many years. Maybe this isn't like we make the playoffs 1 year, miss it 2 years, and then we go back in 2025. Maybe this is the beginning of us going to the playoffs for like 5 years straight, and who knows? Maybe this is year 1 of going to the World Series, and maybe we go in another year or 2. Maybe we go back to back. Nobody knows. And obviously, we know how hard it is to be able to advance in the playoffs. Again, a lot of things can happen. We may not go as far as we want to go, but based on the vibes and this team and the culture, there's a good chance. ALDS, ALCS, World Series, why not us, right? And again, it's not like, we're, sitting in a position like we're the Mets. Or we're the Astros or the Tigers where we're, kind of at a downward spoke. We're climbing and, we're one of the best teams right now in baseball. So we got to ride the momentum. We have to be hot. We have to be healthy. We obviously have to worry about Woo's Peck. And that's pretty much it. Everyone else is pretty much good to go. And let's get Cal Raleigh to 63 home runs so that way he can win the MVP outright. Because at that point, I'm not sure if you're, up on Judge by 10 homers, can you really give Judge the MVP? And at that point, it has to be co-MVP. But again, Cal probably deserves to win it on his own. But again, if they're not going to give it to him based off home runs and ribbies, and obviously batting average, slugging, and all the other percentages are for, Aaron Judge, this would be a great year to have co-MVP. But again,
If Cal doesn't get MVP by himself, or at the very least co-MVP, we definitely have the wrong people voting for the award. But right now, life is good, and we won the division for the very first time since 2001, 24 years, and it feels so good. And the MVP chants are going. And obviously Cal on the mic said, let's go win the whole fucking thing. We've had JP show his emotion on the mic, obviously in 2022. And Cal Raleigh, 60 home runs. I mean, and again, this isn't going to be the last time that we see Cal do magical things. You know, he'll probably break his own record multiple times. And again, it just feels so good that we have Julio, we have Cal, we have Gilbert, Wu, and Kirby, and we have Josh Naylor, and we have to make sure that we keep him in Seattle. I mean, if you just look at the backbone of this team, it is so special. So many amazing role players, so many good, guys in the farm, and then guys that are starting to really show how great they are. And for every Jordan, Cal Raleigh, you have to have a Pippen, Julio Rodriguez, and then you also have another one named Josh Naylor. Incredible. He's getting the Gatorade bath twice. MVP chants are going so loud. And again, his dad and his brother got to be so proud. They helped him win the home run derby. You knew this was a special year. Dad played catcher. Cal plays catcher. His brother plays catcher. And then we have a catcher as a manager in Dan Wilson. It really does show you, if you have a catcher and you have a good one, it really does make a huge difference, with the roster moving forward. Now it's Babe Ruth, Roger Maris, Aaron Judge, and Cal Raleigh. And again, now instead of people talking about just Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani, we're going to be talking about Cal Raleigh as being the best catcher in this generation. And again, future first ballot Hall of Famer, as long as he doesn't have any major injuries down the road. Big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Amazing. And Cal's being interviewed right now, so I'm just peeping that. A lot of the merch is going to sell out very quick. The divisional champs, everything that we got going on. Hey, if we're going to be dropping F-bombs and anything that we need to on the mic, hey. What a team this is. What an environment. And we still got tomorrow's game, right? For Cal to be able to try to get a multi-homer game and tie Judge at 62. And then you got 3 games against the Dodgers. So, again, I mean, this could be, a year where Cal gets 62 to 65, and again, he's got 4 games to go. Man, this feels so good. And again, it feels like this is the beginning of something special. Not just this year, but years moving forward as they pan into Cal's dad in the crowd, which is awesome. And again, we only had 4 good years out of 40, 95, 97, 2001, a drought of 20 years, and then 2022. But we've made the playoffs 2 times in the last 4 years, and I think that's going to continue, moving forward. And again, we had a long drought, but that drought is over. And again, this team is special, and we should be able to do some magical things the next 10 to 20 years with the Seattle Mariners. And that feels really good to say. Now they're getting the team all lined up for the AL West champion photo. Man, crazy. And now I got to go on social media and I got to like everything from Mariners Facebook. I got to go to Mariners PR on X, Twitter, as well as Mariners on Twitter/X. And I got to go to Instagram and like everything on the Mariners there as well. You got to show your love and show your support. So if you guys have access to Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter/X, make sure you're going to the Mariners and showing them your love and hitting that like button and commenting if you feel free, to show your love and support for this team, just like you guys have shown the love and support to this team and myself and my pup here in 2025. This journey has been a very magical journey. And again, I've been doing this for 13 years. This is my 9th year on YouTube. Next year will be 10 years on YouTube, 14 years in streaming. And again, I feel like this is the breakout year, for us on the channel. And I feel moving forward, big things are going to come. And the farther we go, the bigger the channel will explode. And I can't wait to be able to see what is inside and entail for the Seattle Mariners, not only in 2025, but beyond. Love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Shout out to all the people that like, sub, donated, commented, shared. Shout out to Joseph getting us started halfway through the matchup to get the dono train going. Sean in the building. Monkey, Bash, Flying Monk, Captain, Armando, and Armando again. I appreciate you guys very, very much. And I got Dan Wilson on the mic right here as well. And again, you guys are the best. I love you and I appreciate you. And again, we'll be live tomorrow to be able to get another win and another dub on the column. Love you guys, and I appreciate you guys. I'm going to take a victory walk with my pup and eat some dinner and continue to watch all the coverage here on Root Sports. And again, it's going to be a team effort, and a shout out to all the individuals all day. You've done a great job with you and Captain as lead mod, as well as Reflect and all of the others that have stepped up, TJ and Cody and everyone else, trying to get us more likes and more subs and more views and more donos. Everyone is being a team player. I appreciate you guys. And again, sleep good tonight. And we'll be live tomorrow, as well as every game the rest of the way. We're going to be doing every game in the Dodger series. Even I'm choosing Mariner Dodgers even over Oregon Ducks and Penn State Nittany Lions. So it shows you my allegiance to this team. And I can't wait to be able to see what we do tomorrow. And hopefully Cal will multi-homer tomorrow to tie Judge at 62. And if he doesn't do it tomorrow, hopefully he gets there by the time we play the Dodgers. Love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan. Final score, Seattle Mariners 9, Colorado Rockies 2, and we are AL West champs for the first time since 2001. Soak it in. I know I will. Love you guys. Tridents up, seize the moment, and I'm out. Go M's.